Yeah, next time we'll coordinate. We'll run by everyone. I mean, we'll probably pick something out now, but yeah, we'll coordinate, make sure we all check it out before we hop on and discuss the next one.
Yeah, what is the next movie?
Next movie.
Hmm.
Well, we're still early 90s. Yeah, right now I'm trying to avoid like the really big stuff until we start making these and we have a flow of how these are going to work. That's why I'm kind of like, I would love to, but I feel like leaving off 89 Batman for now or Jurassic Park, but I'm trying to think of what else. Darkman? No. Oh, we're leaving that alone. I know Alex wanted to span
Ban?
Spawn.
Oh.
I'm just joking.
The mid '90s Spawn movie or the
No, the mid '90s.
oh god, that movie was so bad.
Oh, yeah. We'll do that with Alex later.
That'll be an interesting one to talk about on the visual effects podcast because that is one ugly movie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You wanted to get into it because it's the first claw sim in a film, was his cape, which was horrible, but you know.
Yeah, the claw sim actually, the sim was pretty decent, but yeah, the rendering on it wasn't amazing. And then, oh my god, what was it? Not Malboja, but I'm trying to remember the demon.
Oh, clown. His
No, not or I guess
is it Violator?
No.
Yeah.
Well, they have Violator, but I can't remember if they had the Violator ever go at the clown turn to the Violator. I'm talking about the very end where he goes to
The
hell.
devil. Yeah.
The devil, and you're just like, oh god, what is this?
Yeah, Malboja.
Okay, that was okay. I was right. It was Malboja.
Yeah, you're
All
right. I was just thinking of the
Yeah.
wrong character. Yeah, you're right. The thing I loved about it, even as a kid, I was looking at it because there'll be like random like fire explosions because they were in hell, and it was like, and the camera was like tracking from left to right or panning, I should say. And you're looking at it and you're thinking, hold up, there's like a fire explosion, but saying center screen while the camera's moving from left to right. So the explosion just staying in place. I'm like, that ain't right. I was like,
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
like, that shouldn't be happening. Like, why is that just still while everything else is moving? Yeah, that's just like a one to just do like where we're just digging at films, probably. Because even as a kid, I hated it.
Yeah, it's like there was no part of. I mean, I guess I can't remember the actor who played Spawn. He was pretty good.
Yeah, Michael J. White playing Al Simmons. Yeah.
And then of course John Leguizamo was pretty good as well, I can't remember the guy's name, but the guy who becomes the Violator, the
Yeah.
clown guy.
Yeah, I think it's Clown. I think that's what they call him.
Okay, yeah, it's like I can't remember the clown guy's name that becomes Violator. Yeah,
Yeah, but he was so excited. You see him in interviews, he's like, yeah, man, I wanted to play that role. He's like, fought to play that. And we are like, okay, you gotta choose your battles wisely sometimes. But I mean, he was cool I think he worked as Clown. I mean, but
yeah, no, he was good. It just in a movie that was not really good at all.
yeah.
I feel like that was the first visual effects movie where you watched it and you knew the budget was not going to the visual effects.
Well, hey, that'd probably be a good one to do at some point because
Oh yeah.
Spawn, the new one, is supposed to be like in the works.
For a long time.
Oh, is there a new Spawn?
Yeah.
I'm just glad he's no longer directing it himself.
Oh, Todd McFarlane.
Oh yeah. That was the plan for a long time.
He's a great artist. He's a terrible director, and
Yeah, he's got vision though. I respect McFarlane Toys and what he did with that and stuff. But I'm just glad he's working with the screenwriter also because he was writing it and directing it himself.
yeah, no, I don't see that working well.
He finally like bent the knee and said, "Fine, I'll get professional help." Like, thank you. I think it's when he signed up with Bloom is when he finally was like, "Okay, you guys work low budget. I love you guys horror films. Okay, let's actually collab now." So now I'm more optimistic about it. But I know Spawn turned more into like a horror from the shadows type of character, not really an action for a limited time run because it stopped being Al Simmons and it was someone else will Spawn. So they took a completely different approach to the character. But now it's back to Al Simmons. So now it's back to the Spawn people like. And that's why they did like a new Batman Spawn comic
Yeah.
to celebrate Al Simmons' return. Man, I just keep thinking of like the weird oddball movies, like that one with the kangaroo one, where they're like wannabe Ninja Turtles, So they did like this kangaroo movie. That
What?
was horrible.
Yeah.
I do not remember that.
It is horrendous.
Oh.
So you know how like the turtles look awesome
Yeah.
and cool? These look horrifying. Yeah, we all saw the first Power Rangers movie, right? And how they wore like those ninja outfits.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
So think kangaroos, like
Mhm.
Kangaroo Jack kangaroos in those ninja outfits, different colors, representing different elements, but their faces look horrifying.
I think it's Warriors of some. Trying to remember the name. I know what you're.
Yeah, I mean, and it sucked because like the trailer came out, and I'm like, I'm kind of excited. Like they're in the shadows, they're jumping around, but they were in shadow to hide the horrific faces because it's like the prosthetics where it's like this weird mix between they look a little humanish, but they also look like they're trying to be kangaroos. So it's that uncomfortable hybrid.
Yeah,
Just really uncanny. Yeah.
Where you're
So-
like, you shouldn't have done that.
I was right. It's Warriors of Virtue.
Virtue. Yes, because each one was a different virtue, but also a color and element. And that was kind of like, all right, it's like green was wind, I think, and was like peace. I forgot how they went. Yeah, they were all different virtues. And they had a female kangaroo.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow that was the most wrong of the characters.
Did they do something really weird where they gave her like really defined breasts or something like that? So they're like super sexualized the kangaroo, and you're like, this is weird.
They
I
did
don't
that.
like this.
Yeah. Because you feel weird,
I feel confused and I don't like it.
especially when you're like reaching puberty and you see that, you're
Yeah,
like, I
yeah.
feel wrong.
Yeah.
They did that in the Turtles too.
Well, I remember they added a female turtle. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah, Venus.
Yeah. Venus.
Yeah.
They couldn't even find a female artist. They're just like, yeah, we're going to name her after after the goddess.
Yeah, like a statue, yeah. But in the comics, he finally made a female. Is the character still around? Or did they kill the character off? But I remember it sounded cool the way they approached the character. I think she was like a love interest of one of the human characters and mutated and was a member of the Foot Clan, then turned against Shredder. And she had like Wolverine's claws for her weapons. And her color was more like orange. No, yellow. Yellow, my bad. Yeah, that character looked interesting. I don't know.
Isn't it teal? I don't know. I mean, I'm not too familiar with that.
I don't really follow comics much. So I just remember that being big news of like, oh, like they're trying it again.
Hmm.
Female turtle. But this time it actually landed. It was a side character that mutated into a turtle. And that's why it was accepted and worked. Like I said, love interest, then became a Foot Clan member, and then defected. And I think an attempt to kill her, then was mutated to save her life, I think. Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, because she had protected the turtles. For some weird reason, Donnie did a blood transfusion to save the lives. That's why she became a turtle. Yeah, let me see. What else would be fun to do?
If we're doing superhero movies, there's a bunch of them that came out. I mean, it doesn't have to be that, but
Yeah, I was just saying like 90s stuff that we all like really liked from our childhood that we thought was dope. Like besides the big ones, crossing out Jurassic Park.
Or disliked.
Oh, so we are doing Spawn. I just want Alex to be part of the conversation and feeling well. I don't know how much recovery he needs from his surgery.
Just as a joke, talking about superheroes, Howard the Duck.
I've never actually seen Howard the Duck.
You know what? I actually liked it. I ain't gonna lie.
The first Marvel movie ever.
Was it the first Marvel movie?
Yeah.
Because I remember they had like a Thor in the 80s. So actually, that might have been a TV show too. Because I do remember there being an 80s Thor.
That was a TV movie with the Hulk.
yeah.
Okay, that was it. Yeah, you're right. It was live action. It was a TV movie with the Hulk. I remember the Hulk series, but I just remember seeing that there was like 80s Thor, and I was like, huh.
No, but that's actually the first Marvel film. Yeah. Because I've seen different docs where they talk about it, and everyone's just like ashamed to talk about it. Yeah, I actually saw it a few years ago, and I thought, like, you know what? Kind of dig it. Except the ending. The ending was like, I didn't need that. But everything else, I was amused. He comes from a duck planet, and then he ends up here in the 80s. He meets Marty McFly's mom,
I've only seen part of the movie, and I just remember seeing the start, and it had duck in it, and you're like, okay.
Yep, that happened.
Well, I got one for you guys. I think this is Brad Pitt's first movie.
Ooh.
It's called Cool World.
Oh, the animated one?
one.
Yeah,
I've seen parts of that one. That was a weird ass movie.
yeah, it really was.
That was wild. That was his first film? No way.
Pretty sure that was his first film.
Crazy. Because he actually had lines and stuff. Usually, like your first movie, you're like a side character, you're like someone's kid or.
Well, I mean, he came out in another movie for sure. I forget what movie. He was a background extra, and he was playing a waiter, and I guess he comes over to deliver whatever item it was, and he speaks, and he was told not to speak again because his character didn't have a line.
Oh, wow.
I just don't remember what that film was, but I think this is his first leading film, like his role. Cool World.
Yeah, because he played a sizable role in that movie. That's why, like, if to think that's one of his early ones, I'm like, wow. And that movie was wild. Was it before or after Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
I think it was after, because
Right.
I think it was heavily influenced by it.
Right?
But I also remember there's almost no cartoon part in it, and the cartoon doesn't matter at all.
Yeah, it's just how wacky can you make it? I mean, I don't know. Probably something, that we can discuss. I mean,
That's a cool movie for sure.
sticking to like visuals, one of the bigger ones is like The Mask, and that came before Spawn. I think the visuals are way better.
Oh, yeah. And that's when I've seen stills from The Mask recently.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still like, yeah, that actually looks really good still.
Insane.
Because there's definitely stuff from the 90s that I thought looked good that when you kind of look back, you're like, oh, that looks terrible. Like I remember seeing some footage from like Godzilla 96 or 7 or whatever that one came out. And I remember that looking pretty good to me when I was young.
Yeah.
And then seeing the footage again, you're like, oh, that's really bad. Like black levels aren't matching at all. And like real basic stuff is like really broken. And you're like, oh man. But looking at The Mask, you're like, it's lit exactly right, pretty much perfectly comped.
It's incredible.
Maybe a good one to discuss. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
like right in the middle, right before the middle of the 90s. And I mean, if it came out in 94, they were working on it like 92 and 93. So imagine, like this was just around the same time Jurassic Park came out.
Yeah. No, it's true, dude. Like for some reason, like when we first brought it up, that was right where my brain went. I'm like, I want to say Mask, but that's such a like high profile movie. But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm down. I'm down to talk about The Mask next. Like, I love it. I watch it like once every few months, I think. That movie's just dope. I think even recently I saw like someone did like an Insta post where it was like one of those like quick change makeup videos
Yeah.
that this woman did. And I'm like, okay, kind of random to be doing The Mask, but okay. And I think I saw that like earlier this week. So it's just funny how like it's timeless. Like doesn't matter. People still talk about it. And yeah, I'm down. I'm down to talk about it. I know that I think I was thinking more of that one if we were ever going to do like a VFX breakdown type of thing, or like how they might have done something.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, it's like I think that's just such a fun one to talk about.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know how to discuss The Mask for how they did it, because just with the tools they would have had back then, I would have had no idea how you could achieve the quality they did in it.
Back
Yeah.
then, yeah. We all know how we would do it now.
It's like nowadays they'd be like, oh yeah.
Back then, you were still painting on film to do removals, right?
I think so. Yeah.
I would not be surprised. I mean, yeah, because Photoshop would have been out, but I don't know if it probably wouldn't have done any conversion to digital and then back to film.
Yeah, that's a hard one too.
That would have almost taken more work to convert to analog or convert to digital, work it, and then convert back to analog. It would almost have been quicker to paint.
Yeah, I gotta hunt around. I gotta see if there is a behind the scenes. I should have it on Blu-ray. I'll check. I'll check if there's like some little featurettes. Yeah, because when it gets flattened, man, there's so many things they did. It just blows your mind.
Yeah.
It looked amazing then. Love that movie. All right.
It's also super weird to think about that there's, especially when you think of how many VFX studios there are nowadays. Pretty much before 1996, all VFX was pretty much ILM.
Yeah.
Because like The Mask is ILM, Jurassic Park's ILM, pretty much anything that had VFX up until like probably late 96.
Yeah, those are the true heroes, man.
Seems like was all ILM.
All the stuff they did just like blows your mind.
Spawn was ILM.
Well, we know the budget.
Or it was former ILM people. I can't remember if ILM actually worked on the movie or if it was just people from ILM who were like, you know what, we can do it. And I think it was only like 2 or 3 guys that thought they could do it.
Yeah, because the way things were done, I would say it could have been ILMC team, but there were things in there, they wouldn't have let that slide. They wouldn't let that be put out to the public in the state it was in. Just because artists of that level have pride. And you're like, I know we ain't getting paid crap for this film. The effects got to track with the shot. I'll never let that go.
The CG in Spawn looked like the early tests that Pixar was doing in the mid 80s.
Yeah, the way their devil looked, that was just nightmare fuel.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it did its job in that regard because it was garish and haunts your dreams, but
Yeah, it's something you remember, that's for sure.
Jeez.
Hey, I'm just gonna put there too, but this is around the same time,
Mhm.
and there's gonna be another one, another film that's gonna come out soon. Toy Story.
Mm.
Toy Story was around that time too.
Yeah, Toy Story.
And that was like 95, yeah, 94, 95, I think.
Yeah, they're making a new one too, by the way.
Oh, yep, 95, yeah.
Yeah, 5.
Yeah.
Well, at least this one seems like it has a direction. When I heard the premise, I'm like, okay, they're addressing kids of today and their addiction to technology and stuff and not valuing like toys at all anymore. I'm like, well, that's very relevant. Something Disney is like, yes, talk about it. Talk about our pain, our struggles.
Why aren't we selling merchandise anymore?
Mhm. So that approach, I'm like, okay, like that's something. Woody trying to find himself. Who gives a shit, man? That's that was such a stupid, especially at the end of Toy Story 3, where you're like, holy crap, are they gonna dump everybody in a giant incinerator? That man, my buddies were freaking out. Like Raph, the guys we know, Anand, guys who worked at SWD. I went to school with them. Yeah, Fuzz was with us too. Yeah, everybody. We all went to see Toy Story 3 together. And man, just to see my friends, like Raph on almost down on his knees, like he turned to me, he's like, Mike, they're not doing it, man. They're not doing it. Like in the middle of the movie theater. He's like, tell me they ain't gonna die right now. Like he was freaking out. Like grown ass man about to cry over some damn toys. I'm like, that hit. After that, you follow with Toy Story 4. Bull movie. I'm like, no.
I was looking up Spawn, and actually, I'm curious if this is maybe one of the reasons why the VFX looks so like all over the place and bad.
Uh-huh.
There were a bunch of different VFX studios on Spawn. And up until about 2000, almost every time you had a movie with heavy VFX, it was only really 1, maybe 2 studios that did it. Because something like Gladiator was all mill VFX.
Oh, nice.
And stuff like that. So like pretty much like every time you had like a major VFX movie, it was all under one umbrella. I mean, that is kind of a common thing you would have nowadays. And part of the reason why you do have movies kind of all over the place is some sequences are different parts are thrown to different studios.
Right.
Yeah.
So you don't have that consistency between it because they're all using different renderers. They're pretty much just using like the same model. That's about it. And then they have to try to get a same look with stuff that won't work in all the programs.
Yeah.
It was just weird looking at the Spawn VFX list because there was like 15 different studios that worked on Spawn.
Ugh.
And they're kind of like, oh, I'm kind of curious who was responsible for which portions. Who did the devil VFX? Who did it?
Who do I blame?
No,
Please don't be ILM. Please don't be ILM.
Oh, man.
I was gonna say no pun intended on what you just said.
Oh, my goodness. Oh.
Sorry, you said responsible. Anyway,
Doosh. There we go. That's a note to close on.
Actually, even when you think of modern movies that do very well visual effects wise, they're typically one studio that's by far the main studio instead of split up into sequences. Like Dune's all DNEG pretty much.
Oh, sick. Yeah. Dune was clean and consistent. Yeah.
Dune's all DNEG. Avatar's all Weta with some random stuff with ILM.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's like completely separate things up until. Actually, never mind. I'm going to shut up now. We're being recorded and I'm not going to say it. Not while it's being recorded, I'm not.